Hi guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Gina Buckney and I'm delighted today to be joined by Federica, who's one of my team, as you know, but also,
hi everyone.
Hi, but also by Mark and Rachel from a company called Mindfultherapies. So
hi everyone.
They are based out in Newcastle, but we are currently in lockdown 2.0, as we're all calling it, in the UK, and therefore all at home. Mark and Rachel, you are in a bubble together, yes?
You are in a bubble, yes.
You're being safe. So what we wanted to do, we've been talking for some time because we obviously have a shared interest, and I've been learning stuff from Mark and Rachel, both Federica and I, and we just thought it would be a really good idea to share some of the insights that they have and the experience. Like, these guys have got a lot of experience. How many years is it, Mark, Rachel?
When did you start?
I started meditating when I was 14. I'm just asking away my age.
How old are you now, Mark?
That was 41 years ago. But practicing mindfulness seriously or regularly about 10 years ago, and teaching mindfulness for the last 5 years.
Brilliant. And you, Rachel?
I started when I was 15, so not that long ago at all.
No.
And I've been teaching since 2007.
Okay, so a lot of experience and a lot of work with clients and understanding what does work, what doesn't work. What I find is there's so many different interpretations. So for me today, what I would love to get out of it, and guys, we are going to do a number of these videos. They're just going to be short videos. Today we're starting with simply, what is mindfulness? So that's what I want to understand today from Mark and Rachel. And then we've got many other topics that we're going to go into in terms of deep diving, and also some nice little exercises that will help you just, I guess, it's as an introduction to understand maybe how to practice mindfulness as well.
So what I would like you to do is grab an item that is next to you. Any item, anything that you're drawn to.
Okay.
Glass, yep. Oh, I've got a water bottle. Federica, what have you got?
Book.
Book, right. So what I want you to do is hold your item. I've got a cushion. And I would like you to look at your item like you have never seen this before. I want you to notice the colours. I want you to notice if it casts a shadow. I want you to notice if it catches the light in any way, if it surprises you in any way, if there's anything that interests you about what you can see when you look at your item. I want you to notice how it feels. So you might notice if it's warm, if it's cool, if there's different textures. Maybe what happens if you rub your finger along certain, like so I've got stitching on my item, so I'm noticing how that feels. You might notice if there's any sound. So maybe if you rub your nail over the item, or maybe you can, yeah. So just notice any sound. You might even notice if your item has a smell.
Taste.
Taste. We can't all do that, but yeah, if your item is a drink, yeah, you can do that. You're bringing all of your senses into experiencing something ordinary with beginner's mind. And you might even think about how it got to be here. All of the different people that might have been involved in creating this item and bringing it into this room. So you might have a sense of connection, a sense of gratitude, a sense of curiosity. Would anyone like to tell me what they noticed about their item?
So I'll go. So what I've noticed is how bad this glass actually is damaged. There's so many scratches within the glass that I've never noticed before. I don't know whether the camera will pick it up, but actually.
Oh yeah, I can see a couple of little.
So many scratches along it, and I'd never actually noticed that before. So yeah, that's what my eyes were picking up on.
And what was it like when you kind of reflected on how it got to be here?
Well, that bit for me is like, when you mentioned about gratitude, I had this like overwhelming sense of like gratitude for all the people that have been involved in delivering this and even shaping it. You know, imagine the glass blowers and all that sort of stuff. If they even do that on an individual basis, I bet it's factories. But, you know, yeah, I just did feel grateful for it, which is something you wouldn't really think of for a product like this.
Brilliant. Federica, what was your experience?
Actually, it was strange because never before I had something in my hand and focusing on it so much. And I have this every day in my hand because it's my notebook where I take notes of my work stuff. So, and when you mentioned the process and why I have it now, I was thinking that this actually has a long story because it's from Turkey. And so someone made it and then they give it to me. My parents actually buy for me, and now it's here with me. So it's nice to think about that.
So there's a sensory experience,
Yes.
so like a whole lot of gratitude and a whole story around it.
Yes.
And I bet that was lovely, Federica, because that's a connection to home, you know, especially now you are in London now, but it's probably even more, you're probably even more missing home because we're in this lockdown situation. So it just feels even more like isolated and away from people.
Yeah.
So that's really nice.
What do you notice now?
I noticed the colour, I noticed the different colours, the different textures. It was the different textures, and you know, when you said about the sound, just how my nails felt against it, as well as the sounds that was generated. It just notice how heavy it was as well. It's full of water, but
I like the way you clarified that.
And yeah, it was a gift from similar to Federica's comments, that it was a gift from my daughter. She bought me it for my birthday earlier this year. When I started yoga teacher training earlier this year, and she got me a water bottle for when I'm teaching yoga, which was really nice. And it just so it was a lot of gratitude and a lot of curiosity when you asked about where it came from and sort of the different materials it's made of, and I'm not even sure what the main body's made of. So I was curious about what goes into the manufacturing process, and you know, the mining of the metal and the creation of the plastic. There's just so many different processes involved in making something so simple that we take for granted every day.
Yeah.
That was just being really curious about it. It was well,
so curiosity and kind of a story about gratitude. Yeah. So start to give us an idea of what mindfulness is, because mindfulness for me, it's about being in the present moment.
Yeah.
It's about experiencing something really simple like an object with our senses, noticing what's happening right now, noticing what we're feeling, noticing what we're experiencing, rather than getting caught up in, you know, what am I doing later? What am I worried about from yesterday? What arguments am I going to have when I get home? All of those kinds of things. It's about what's happening now, and it's having a particular attitude. It's having, you know, the attitude of gratitude. It's having. I really like bringing a sense of curiosity. You know, it's
Yeah, do you know, I really like that actually, Rachel, because for me, you know, I've practiced meditation and I think an awareness of mindfulness more recently, although when I look back, I realized I was doing it without knowing it as part of the meditation side of things. But the curiosity bit is quite a new one actually, because I know about the present moment and being grateful and, you know, just not worrying about what's gone on before or what you've got to do later. And that's how I focus on it. But the curiosity thing brings another angle to it. So I
think it's really important.
I think it's crucially important. I think you know, so many meditations, you know, people often think about meditation sitting and focusing on your breath, and you know, we breathe a lot every day without thinking about it. Why would we focus on it? And when we focus on it, you know, a lot of people go, "Oh, it's boring that," because you know it's so mundane. But if we can bring that sense of real curiosity to the sensations of every breath, if we can really be curious about where can I feel this breath this time,
Yes.
Without bringing the baggage of what the last breath felt like or what the next breath's going to be like. Just what does this one feel like, and have that level of curiosity. It can. So for me, in terms of what mindfulness is, it is about really paying attention, really focusing on what's going on right now in this moment with a kind of curiosity. And the other thing that I would bring in there, and I'd like to ask you about your experience there, Gina, in terms of the glass. The other element that I would always say comes into mindfulness, we're doing it as an objective observer. So it's with non-judgment, it's without making any judgment. So I'd be curious to hear how what judgments you made when you started noticing those scratches on the glass.
Do you know what? I was like, oh my God, I need to get some new glasses. I was thinking that just looked really bad. But that is judgment, like you say, and we shouldn't be judging. We should be grateful for, actually, I have a glass to hold that's holding water that I can then drink out of. So that's really interesting that you point that out, Mark, and I'm like, yeah, I need new ones. So
we judge all the time. It's so normal, isn't it? And I think we sometimes talk about mindfulness as being about being aware without judgment. And sometimes it is, and sometimes it's about being aware of our judgments, but not judging the judgments. And just noticing what we're experiencing. And it's not fighting against our lives.
Yeah, we can't stop ourselves making judgments, and we can't stop noticing negative things. They're natural processes of what our minds do.
I noticed that there's threats coming off here. Imperfections.
Imperfections, okay though. But yeah, we can't stop the judgments. We can't stop the bad things happening. We can't stop noticing the negative things. It's what we then do with it, and I think that's an important part of what mindfulness is. It's about focusing our attention on what's actually going on, noticing what's happening, notice what we feel about it, notice what's going on, and then choosing how we respond rather than just reacting to it.
So that's the thing then. So obviously I've noticed the glass and the little scratches, and in my mind straight away was like, I need new glasses. So if then I went, okay, after this session, I thought, I have a choice, and if I go and get new glasses, does that make me a bad person?
No.
Okay, so it's okay to recognize imperfections when you're in a mindfulness state, and then it's your choice to do what you do with it. It's not about judging yourself because you've had an opinion, or
so you have an opinion. You notice that you have a preference. You would have a preference to have a glass that didn't have scratches in it.
Yeah.
What I suppose an unmindful approach might be to notice it and go, oh, it's so unfair. I always have these imperfect glasses. How did I not notice? I'm so inadequate for not noticing.
But a lot of us do that, Rachel, when we're in a partner situation, we're looking at our partners and we're going, oh, but and then in that situation, it's like, I guess for me, it's, if you notice something, are you going to do something about it, or continue to feel woe is me? Yeah.
And you can get new glasses with a particular attitude, couldn't you? You could get a new glasses, oh, I hate those old glasses, I can't believe it. Or you can go, that glass has served me well.
Yeah.
You get something new, and I'm really grateful that I can afford to go to a shop.
And then give this a shout maybe, or pay it back. I don't know, Federica, anything that comes to your mind from this conversation that you want to ask?
I find it very interesting because usually we used to judge, and we don't even notice how many times a day we judge. Negative thoughts, judging about everything. But if we do it in a mindful way, just recognizing that something we can keep something, we can change something else, but without judging in a negative way. That's something.
And isn't it amazing that so much came out there just from a glass? Just imagine what happens when you notice how you feel after an argument, or when you feel anxious, or when we're going into a second lockdown. All of the thoughts and feelings that we have there, then there's a lot to grapple with and explore, and it's like, how can we be mindfully aware? So I think sometimes people think that being mindful means that you shouldn't feel bad, or you shouldn't feel angry, you shouldn't feel all of these unpleasant emotions. When we found out about the second lockdown, we had a whole range of, I think everyone will have had a range of emotions.
Yeah.
Whatever we feel is okay. So the non-judgment isn't saying, don't feel anything. It's saying, well, notice what you're feeling. And maybe don't add that extra layer of beating yourself up for it.
And that's interesting then. Would you say it's non-judgment for yourself then?
Quite often, it's sometimes non-judgment for yourself. I think it will also be non-judgment for other people. We have lockdown and mask wearing and all that sort of stuff is really emphasised how people are constantly judging each other. People are judging people if they've got a mask on, if they haven't got a mask on. And actually, nobody knows what's going on in that person's mind, what their decision-making process was. We don't know if they've got a medical reason for not wearing a mask, or we don't know what concerns they got as to why they wear a mask. It isn't about right or wrong. It's about accepting that that person is who they are. They've made their decisions rather than judging them for that.
And I'm really passionate about that, Mark, actually, as well, because I know friends who've got like hidden disabilities who can't wear a mask. And it's, you see they're in a shop and they know they're getting judged and people are huffing and puffing as they go past. And it's like, so maybe in terms of the mindfulness element, it's just being, is it awareness then? I guess it's an awareness of how you are to yourself about a situation and judging yourself, but then trying not to judge others for the, because we're all different, I guess.
And it's noticing the moment of choice, isn't it? So say you're walking in the supermarket, you see somebody who hasn't got a mask on, who doesn't appear to have a reason, because, as you say, hidden disabilities. We might see somebody and we have an instant judgment, an instant thought of, oh, they're not wearing a mask.
Yeah.
And it comes so quickly. But then the awareness is that we notice that we have the thought and then we choose, am I going to continue thinking like that? Am I going to entertain that thought, or am I going to go, okay, that was a judgmental thought. I've noticed it, and I'm going to let it go.
Okay. So, in terms of, because I want to come on to, I think we've covered, I'm just going to try and summarize what I think we've said in terms of what is mindfulness, but I want to come on to the benefits of it as well, Len. So when we're trying to do that, all this stuff we just talked through, what is the benefit of it? But if I can just try and summarize what we've just talked about, just so that it's clear in my mind and for hopefully the people that are watching. So mindfulness then, it's being present in the present moment, yes, being aware, using your senses. I think when we talk about the senses, that helps me be more mindful, because you're focusing on the senses that then help you remain in that present moment. So it's drawing on the senses, it's gratitude as an attitude, and non-judgment. Would we say that's a good summary of sort of what is mindfulness, or is anything missed there?
A spoonful of curiosity.
This is the one. That's the one. Yes.
The soup song of curiosity.
Curiosity kill the cat.
Killing somebody in a minute.
The senses, it's also noticing your physical reactions, noticing so that's your physical, your emotional reactions. So when we talk about gratitude, notice what that feels like, and also noticing the thoughts that come up. So not just the judgments, what you think about this object, this thing, this experience, this stimuli. So it's about your physical senses, it's about your emotions, and it's about your thoughts. It's about observing all of that with a kind of curiosity and non-judgment.
So on that note, once again, thank you so much, guys. I hope you have the rest of we're almost at the end of the day, but I know you've got clients, so have a good session with clients. And Federica, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you,
everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.